Welcome to Raialities. We are back and we are here for the month of September. We are going to talk about health and wellness. And so we have G. G is with me. She's back. So y'all.
Hey, it's been a long week. I miss y'all.
Last week actually D was on with me. So G was preparing for school and all that good stuff. So hopefully for all of you all that has kids that are virtual learning, hopefully you have your wine stocked and whatever else you choose to use to keep you calm because that's a necessity at this point.
It's something a little harder than wine, but anyway.
And so today we are going to talk about health and wellness for children. We have one of Bowie State's own,
BSU.
Chef Jojo with us. And Chef Jojo, as many know and will know, is an amazing chef in the DMV area, but I'm pretty sure you're all over because I've seen you go pretty further out than just the DMV area. Um, and so he's going to share some amazing things that he's done thus far, and we just have a conversation about health and wellness in regards to your children. What specifically needs to what we need to do as parents for our children learning from home. It's very easy for us to hand them that Snickers bar and tell them go about their business. So we want to just talk about that. So first, Jojo, introduce yourself. How long have you been a chef or in the culinary field per se, and just your background?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the DMV area for it'll be 20 years, and a year from now it'll be 20 years since I've been in this area. Came out here from New York to attend college over at Bowie State University, and
Yeah.
graduated in my bachelor's. It's funny that my bachelor's was in graphic design, so clearly I had no intentions of becoming a chef. So
What was that just so you can get out of school quicker? I mean,
now actually that like graphic design, like that was my original background. That's what I saw myself doing. Becoming a chef was the last thing um, I imagined myself becoming, but it became the best thing that ever happened to me. I've been cooking professionally for the past, it'll be 8 years coming up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
yeah, didn't go to culinary school. So for those whoever's out there that have aspirations on, you know, joining this career field, if for any reason you can't get into culinary school, don't get discouraged. My advice is to find a great mentor, someone who could train you, and also working at a restaurant. That's probably some of the best experience you could ever have. But yeah, becoming a chef not only became my career field, but it became my purpose because I'm able to influence and
Mhm.
inspire people. So yeah.
Awesome. I would say I'm definitely not a chef, not even a cook. Um, but I have worked primarily in the hospitality industry for most of all of my career at this point as a HR professional. And I will say the chef is like your best friend.
Mm,
If you work in hospitality, if you don't know a chef or a cook, you just need to go do something else because that's the person that really carries the the place of business. If the chef isn't good at what he does or what she does, no need to even have the establishment running. The chef makes the establishment. You might have your GM or whatever, your owners or whatever, but if your chef sucks, then
everything sucks.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I have could definitely say I've worked with some amazing we always call them culinary enthusiasts.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I have had the pleasure to work with a lot of culinarians who have gone on to do bigger and brighter things. A lot of them have gone on to open businesses, have education backgrounds that teach kids. I know Jojo, you do a lot of that. And so it is definitely cool to have that chef in your network. So Gina, you might want to find one.
Look, at this point in time, I need you to make sure both my kids are eating, including myself. And my life is set up.
So yeah, so like I said earlier, during this time of virtual learning, it's easy for us as a busy parent. A lot of us are working. For G, she's teaching.
All right.
He has a full
Thank you.
class, but you know it's hard for us. It's very easy for us to give our children non-nutritional food
All right.
and
Okay.
snacks for real. My
Go put the
kids
on.
are snackers. I would say that my child feels like when she gets that 5-minute break, she needs a snack. And so she'll run and get a fruit roll up. And I'm like, no. She said, well, it has fruit in it. It actually it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so I guess what should well, let's go back first. Talk about your most recent accomplishment. You just recently received, was it a certification or it was something in regards to children, to nutrition in regards to kids. So
Yeah. So during the pandemic, I just feel like whenever I have that extra time, I feel like I need to educate myself. Like it's never too late. It's never too late to learn something new. I don't care how good you are, how talented you are. And I do have experience working with children in the past, but I never had that, I guess, that education when it comes to like a classroom setting. So I came across a advertisement, and Stanford University were offering free online courses for healthy nutrition for children, and decided to take that. It was, I believe, it was a 6 or 7 week course, and it was very straightforward. You know, easy information. A lot of the information I already knew, but then again, I also learned some new information as well. A lot of the technical stuff, a lot of the scientific things like organic foods, how processed foods are made, and as far as like the advertisements on TV, how that catches the attention of children. That's why they're always asking for snacks like food roll-ups or cookies or whatever have you. So it was kind of cool to see it from that perspective. And then they also offered cooking demonstrations showing whoever was taking the course, showing you easy ways, easy steps on how to make a quick meal for your children, quick snacks for your kids. And with me being a chef, I already knew those things. So, but you also have people that might be you might have people that are dietitians and nutritionists who are, taking that course and, learning the cooking part. So, but yeah, it was great though. I think I got like a 93%, which was,
good.
which is pretty good. So felt pretty good about that. Thank you. Yeah.
So, right. So the class that you took, you said it was 8 weeks, something like that?
I think it was like 6 or 7 weeks. It was more of like a like digital lectures, and then you take a quiz. So just pretty much.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So they were pre-recorded lectures, and so whenever whoever was taking the class, whenever they would have time, they could tune in and listen to the lecture, take notes, and then take their quiz afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wasn't no cooking involved?
Well, it's
You wanted them to cook.
Right, I don't want them to cook.
I mean, well, in the class, the cooking demonstration, the cooking demos were pre-recorded by the person who was holding the lectures. So, yeah. So if you chose to, you could either follow along or take the steps that she offered and recreate that recipe whenever you had time to do that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So when we talk about health and wellness, health and wellness for children specifically means a whole lot of stuff. So of course we're specifically talking about, I just want to make that clear, we're specifically talking about the nutrition aspect of it. I'm sure Chef Jojo doesn't want to talk about, you know, all the other aspects, physical development and all of that stuff, but the nutritional aspect of it plays a part in all of those other developments, in my opinion. But how do you think, or for both you and G, how do y'all think that the environment, meaning family, friends, social media, TV, plays a role in the nutrition of, or what our children like and dislike? How do y'all think that?
I think it plays a huge role. Even from taking that course, you know, they spoke about how when children watch television and how commercials are being played with a lot of foods that you know, catch their attention, like sugary cereals and cookies and fruit snacks and things of that nature. All those options are highly processed and lack nutritional value, and just from that alone could increase the risk of obesity. It could increase the risk of children not paying attention, you know, being hyper because of all the sugar that's in those foods.
Right.
As far as the family aspect, I think that in this day and age, this generation, a lot of people have fallen away from eating food together as a family, and then also cooking as a family. And I feel like if children are in that type of environment when they're, you know, eating a healthy, nutritious meal with their family, then they'll have a higher risk of, you know, having healthier lifestyles as they get older. So a lot of those factors definitely play a part.
I will also say, for me, family does play a big part. My family, my mom she loves to cook. She's not, you know, a chef or anything like that, but she's an amazing cook.
Good food is good food
yes.
at the end of the day.
But
Agreed.
my mom will put that whole stick of butter in there. My mom will season the heck out of some food. I mean, we just cooked out recently, just over the weekend, and we're just making something simple, baked beans. And she coming in with a half a cup of sugar. I'm like, whoa, what you doing? She's like, that's how I cook. If you don't like how I cook, then you need to do them yourself. I'm like, all right, you got it. But it's that, you know, for me, family does play a huge role. As I got older and started, you know, just learning on my own, I guess, and then, you know, being married to someone who's very health conscious because of the medical history of his own family, it changes what you now do. And so for our household, we don't eat the same way as I did growing up. So that whole, it's what they call lifestyle change, I guess. But when I go to mom's house, if mom is making my plate, you're gonna eat it the way mom made.
You definitely are.
Right. And
absolutely.
Like in my house, we don't buy regular bacon. But I love bacon. So I'm gonna get my regular
bacon.
As you should.
Turkey makes bacon.
Oh, she said turkey bacon?
She said
no, turkey don't make bacon.
Definitely doesn't.
Thank you. Bacon makes bacon.
It's flavored cardboard. That's what turkey bacon is. Definitely
that does make a whole lot of sense. It does taste like cardboard.
That thought. Yes.
Flavored cardboard.
Yeah, the 1-year-old will not. She refused to eat it.
I'm with my mo.
I don't think she can't chew it, so she refused to eat it. But it does, like I said, family does play a huge role in what we eat.
Right.
As you get older, I don't really think the media does, because you kind of have already decided for yourself. But it does play a role for the kids, because you know they're, oh, mommy, can you buy me those Fruit Loops? I'm not buying. You know, you don't. No. You're not gonna get it. But they don't understand that, because it's, well, so-and-so has it and she bought it for her snack for school. Why can't I have it? And why are you giving me apples in my lunchbox? And they got fruit roll-ups and chicken nuggets and stuff like that out the bag. So yeah. What about you, Gigi? I would say the McCoy household eats very different.
We definitely eat different. It is how you were raised though, because you know, my husband, he used to grow up eating McDonald's and eating was the Big Macs like day in and day out, and those weren't things that I would eat because my mother would make home cooked meals, but my mother was kind of the same way. She would make it the way she was brought up, and you know, black households for the most part is throwing pounds of sugar and pounds of butter into food because it makes it taste good.
Right.
But my daughter is 6 now, and about 6 years ago, my husband got really sick, and we couldn't figure out what it was that made him sick. So he had to cold turkey stop eating a lot of foods, and because he stopped eating a lot of foods, I stopped eating, but not bacon.
Moderation. Moderation. Nothing wrong with bacon in moderation.
At all. But so a lot of the foods that I would cook, I did change up how I made them and how I cooked what I did with them, because we didn't, like I said, we didn't know what was making him sick, and we were at a point where we were like, we can't go through this, because he was sick for like 6 months. Wow. And it just once we changed up what he was eating and he stopped eating certain things, it all went away. And since we, like I said, we didn't know, a lot of the things I just won't make for him. But of course, you know, we still have our things that we make on the side, but I still don't make it with a ton of butter and a ton of sugar, because you don't want your kids growing up thinking that sugar belongs in everything. And have a stick of butter in your macaroni and cheese, because you don't.
Right.
It does taste better, but you don't.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yep. So what do, like I said before, also my kids are, and this is something all my family know, they joke about it, my kids are snackers. Yeah. I have probably one of the best pantries for kids possible. Everyone comes over and they love Auntie Ray's pantry.
Right.
And I have an array of assortment of things there, some healthy, some not. But I do that to keep them, because, you know, some things they want and some things we want them to have. Right. But it gets boring, and they, you know, my kids will have a whole fit if they don't have a fruit snack or something like that. But from your perspective, Chef, like, what can we do to get them, like, my kids love candy, and the dentist actually told us to give them diabetic candy. So give them the candy that a diabetic would eat.
So basically you give them the candy from your grandma's pocket at church?
The peppermints and the...
Yes, that's what that is.
But no, we went to the dentist and they gave Kenzie a lollipop. And I was like, what? Hello? She just got her teeth cleaned. Why would you do that? So she's like, no. And she explained to me, she's like, well, I'm going to give you one to taste too. It tastes horrible. I don't know what kind of flavor or what makes it sweet. It's something she told me. I forgot the word. It's a long word. But she's like, that is actually better than the sugar that's in all of the other snacks that they eat. So if you give them that, if they need that sugar rush, then you can give them that. It won't have them bouncing off the wall, but it'll give them that fix that they need per se.
Right.
But from your experience, like what are some alternatives to like the candies and cookies that the kids love, the Rice Krispie treats that Gina dips in chocolate and strawberry?
I've been doing a program. So it's been about a year since we've been doing it. It's a program that I'm doing with a friend of mine called Healthy Choices. And what we do is we go to one of the developments in Southeast, one of the housing developments in Southeast DC, and we actually get the kids involved in making their own healthy snacks. So I feel like getting the kids involved themselves could increase the chances of them maybe, you know, leaning toward eating, you know, healthier snacks, letting them feel like they're a part of the whole process. Right. So whether it's baking your own cookies or baking a cake, you, the parent, have the control to, you could control, you know, how much of what ingredient you're putting into what you're making. Okay. You know, so if you're trying to monitor the amount of sugar that they're consuming, you have the control to do that. And then also look at healthy alternatives. So if you're making a healthy snack that require sugar. Maybe looking at switching that out with honey or agave,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, or maybe even brown sugar, which is better than using white sugar.
Right.
But as far as my experiences, I'm all about getting the children involved and making their own healthy snacks. So if you're craving a Snicker bar, learning how to make I call them little oatmeal bites.
Oh
Where
yeah,
I
I
make,
did see that. I saw
yeah.
that.
It's
Yeah.
So
supposed to taste like a Snickers.
it's not, no, Snickers. Honestly, to me, it tastes better than Snickers
Not your
because
type of
Lies. I need you to make that, and I need
nah.
you to.
Let me tell you this though. I enjoy good Snickers every now and then, but it makes me feel like crap after I eat it.
It does.
So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing when you're chewing it and the flavors is coming together, but like 5 minutes later you feel like crap. Where like with the kids making their own snacks, it gives them the energy that they need if they're going out and playing. It's something that they can eat in between, and you don't have to worry about them, slowing down or feeling sluggish or whatever have you. So um, as far as like more on the fruitier side, you could they can learn how to make their own ice pops. There are recipes out there where you can make your own ice pops with fresh fruit, smoothies, fruit kebabs, and with a little dipping sauce.
Oh, cool.
So
Didn't you
there's
make
definitely
ice
I was
cream?
options.
You made ice cream, right, G? Didn't y'all make ice cream
We
over?
made but it wasn't that good.
Oh gosh.
You
Nah,
got
it
to
was
tell me what you did.
no, because you know how when you were younger, and everybody may not have done it, but some schools might have done where you would take the ice and put the ice in a bag and then put I forgot, it was like sugar and
So,
it was salt and
uh-huh.
then you kind of mixed it together and it was
Right.
something else and then they ended up making ice cream. The kids hated it. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't Cold Stone. I'm a
Right.
Cold Stone fan, so.
Mhm.
But I need you to email me that because I want to taste that Snickers thing because it's really piquing my interest here.
Well, I definitely don't want to call it a Snickers thing because it's definitely not a Snickers bar. I would compare it to like a granola bar.
Like a
'Cause
chocolate
Okay.
granola bar or something.
I
you
can
know,
do it.
You know what I'm saying? Because kids love those little granola bars, and and those are highly processed as well.
Yeah.
But I could definitely send that recipe over, and then offline we could talk. I'm also doing virtual classes for kids where they could actually make it along with me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we could definitely set that up.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
We
because
we
I
were
try.
doing our can't do Thursdays no more. But
No, we try to keep the kids doing certain things. So if we'd have known this, we would have been on.
oh yes.
Hey, it's never too late.
Oh
So.
yes. We
'Cause
used to during the school year,
Right.
this year, when they decided to pull the kids out in March, we decided, G and my cousin, we decided to do something every Thursday with the kids to kind of just keep them active because, of course, at that point they were just giving them work to do and they weren't logging on or anything like they're doing now. So we
Yeah.
did something different with them every Thursday. But of course, now that school's in session and everybody's kind of back to some sort of reality.
Yeah.
It ain't normal, so yeah.
It's right. It's kind of hard, but I don't know. Yeah, we definitely can try to figure that out. Right.
Yeah.
Those Wednesdays when them kids ain't doing that.
Right.
Another story.
Yeah, because my kids are actually big on smoothies, which is everybody's kids aren't. But I guess
Yeah.
because they grew up, my kids aren't old, so they're like, how old are my kids? 6 and 8. So
Yeah.
as they're growing up,
Are you
Shut
asking
up.
us? Are you
Hey,
asking us?
I had to verify.
apparently be like that sometimes.
I'm telling you, the way my life is set up, I just got to think about a lot of things now.
Yeah.
But they drink smoothies because that's really the only way. My daughter is just like, I was about to call you Mackenzie, Ray Sean's girls, and she's a snacker and she likes sweets. But a lot of the only ways we can get her to eat vegetables is putting it in a smoothie.
Mhm.
And I would put it in a smoothie, the spinach in a smoothie, and that's the only way. So she'll drink a smoothie like it ain't no tomorrow.
Right.
But put a salad in front of her, she's like, that's gross. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna do that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, back up
Mhm.
on.
Mhm.
So now that we're virtual learning, majority of the parents are home. Um, what are some ideas or some suggestions that you can give to families um, whose kids to keep the kids eating healthy? Um, well, yeah, just eating healthy during virtual learning. So, like for me, I make sure that I meal prep for Mackenzie and myself, but definitely for her to make it easier, one on me during the week, but two to make sure she's getting that balance and she's not, eating a cookie for lunch because she realized when she was in school, that's what she was eating. Yes. And the turkey from the Lunchable, that's all she ate. We didn't learn that until we realized she still had all her money on her lunch account, but
Wow.
she said the food was disgusting. But what are some ideas or some suggestions that y'all can give that can help parents to make life easier, like I said, but to ensure that their kids eat healthy?
I would say instilling independent. Oops. So it's always when you catch that momentum when something crazy happens. Because I had like a dope answer. I was just, it's okay. I, I would say instilling independence in them as far as having them help prepare their own meals. You know,
Okay.
like I said earlier, if they feel that they are part of the process, they're going to be more inclined and they're going to be more receptive with, trying different things. So if you meal prep, have your daughter help you with the meal prep, especially if she's eating it. It'll not only be fun for her, but she's also learning about the different foods that she's putting into her body. So I'm like I said, I'm really big on having kids, becoming. I'm really big on having kids, becoming interactive and, letting them feel like they are part of the whole experience when it comes to preparing food, whether it's for them, whether it's for their families. And then it could be something that as they get older, they may take they may take high interest in, and then they could, prepare family dinners and give you mamas a break,
I can't wait. Yes.
So,
so give daddy a break. Like,
right.
Dad does dinner in my house. I have no problem with saying that. Everything else is on me, but I make it easier. But like I said, I definitely meal prep. I don't know what you do, G, but I definitely meal prep. I actually meal prep breakfast and lunch. And before I wasn't a fan of meal prepping like breakfast foods. But if I'm doing cooking on Sunday, I only meal prep from Monday and Tuesday because by Wednesday or Thursday I don't want that boiled egg.
Yeah.
I know it's in a
Ew.
shell, but I don't want it. But my
Right.
mom always say you have Easter eggs sitting in your basket. So why you can't eat the egg late? I'm like that. I guess so, but it's just something about I don't know. But I started meal prepping breakfast so that she could just pop it in the microwave, and then meal prepping her lunch, and then making sure her snacks are out. But also, I think I would add that it's important to just have like a water bottle because it's
Yeah.
real quick for
Absolutely.
them to go snatch that soda,
Yep.
snatch
Yep.
that juice,
I agree. I,
and
I would even add also learning the proper portions. So I feel that drinking water is very important, but also to balance that out, maybe like a glass of fruit juice, but knowing how much a glass of fruit juice actually is. So there could be times where you might have like these big cups in the cabinet and you fill it all the way up.
yeah.
Nah, like I would say a little less than half of that cup of that big jumbo cup is the amount that they should be drinking.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm trying to think what else I do. Set aside snacks. So I try to balance the snacks. I try to not allow her snack selection to be boring,
right.
but I still throw in like my kids. They do love fruits. They love oranges and apples and grapes
Yeah.
and strawberries.
Especially them tangerines sitting on
I
your
think
Right.
yes.
everybody come in my house and be like, "Where y'all get these tangerines from?" Wegmans. It's
These things
the
are
same thing.
amazing. They
I don't know.
never
They are
miss the
good.
mark.
I don't know why. Everybody comes in and they're like, can I have one of
Yeah.
your oranges? I'm like, sure. I don't know
Yeah.
why it's so amazing, but they do love that. But I think it's something about in my daughter's mind that's not a snack. So she's like, no, I'll have my fruit for breakfast, or for my lunch, but I don't want it as a snack. And it's like, no, it is a snack. It can be a snack. And so I know we made like a little face out of the fruit before in the bowl, and I'm like, all right, well, when you're ready, this is your snack or something like that. It was still boring to her, but
Yeah.
it's like let's try that.
There's also you know, ways on how you can make, I guess, I don't want to say it's healthy, but it's healthier. I don't know if you have an air fryer, but you could do air fried potato chips by slicing the potatoes, you know, season it up, and then put it in the air fryer. And so instead of buying a bag of Lay's potato chips, which is highly processed, you can make your own, you know, from your own produce, personal produce, and make your own, you know, potato chips. Or I know kale may not necessarily be real popular with kids, but
No, G makes some bomb kale chips.
Kale chips be off the chain. I'm trying to tell you.
Some bomb kale chips.
Kale chips be bomb.
Good.
Kale chips is bomb.
Yeah.
It took me a minute and I tried. She's like, just try them. I tried.
They're good.
Oh, okay.
They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. So kale chips are really good. You know, so you know, there's ways on how you could incorporate, I guess, making a traditional snack that may not be looked upon as healthier.
Right.
Also, you know, making your own personal pizzas. I do an activity with kids all the time where they make little pizzas with English muffins, and then they add their sauce and the cheese, and then I always make a requirement to at least add 2 vegetable options, and then they could add their chicken or pepperoni. So it's really important to meet that child halfway. So if you incorporate the healthier options with something that they already like, I feel that they'll be more receptive to, you know, enjoying it. Where, you know, you two kind of come at a crossroads, at a happy medium. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I never thought of, we try to have make our own pizza night or something like that. But one thing I found out was like cauliflower crust has more calories in it than a regular crust. The one we had more calories in it. So I was like, well, I might as well get my regular crust back. I thought I was doing something big.
But if you make your own,
and I'm gonna say this: not all calories is bad too.
Yeah.
So, you know, not all calories are bad. You know, it definitely has. I mean, I feel like cauliflower crust has more. I mean, it's lighter. I mean, me personally, I think it tastes better.
Yeah, it does taste better.
Yes.
It does taste better. But I never thought of the English muffin, the use of an English muffin. Now we've done the Texas toast.
Okay.
Texas toast.
All the way unhealthy, but yes.
Butter, cheese, you got all that.
Right.
Yeah, we've done the Texas toast and then made a pizza using the Texas toast.
Right.
That is the fattest thing ever.
It is.
Ever.
It's amazing. It's so not healthy, but it's amazing.
So, okay. So you're using the English muffin. I forgot. I had a brain fart for a minute. Is it better? I mean, like, what's the difference between, can I use a bagel? Why I got to use an English muffin? I ain't a fan of an English muffin, but I like a bagel. Can I use a bagel? Or
use a bagel.
Harder?
Use a bagel.
I'm just saying, maybe. I mean, is it because it has more? Yeah.
I mean, like, I've always used the English muffin because they're smaller, they're a little lighter, you know.
Oh.
And then you could also, you know, and as far as a bagel, like the kid may not eat the whole thing because bagels are so thick compared to English muffin.
Valid point.
But and then you also have the hole in it, so they might be spreading something and something might fall through the hole, and then that's a whole situation. The hole of the bagel.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
See, you're thinking far too into this.
I've seen it.
I can see. I'm looking at
whole oven be on fire because you let the cheese fall through the hole.
I'm looking at it as like the English muffin has, you know, the little, what do they call them? The little pockets or whatever. They call them something else. Nooks and crannies.
Oh, the little crevices in it.
I want my stuff to be spread evenly, and it can't be spread evenly if it got nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
And then my pepperoni can't lay on it the way it needs to be laying on it. It's just a lot going on.
You gotta try it. You like it?
I'm like a whole kid right now.
Hey,
So let's talk about the importance of available resources during this time, of course, and we're sticking to this time because it is what it is at this point with virtual learning and stuff. The schools are now assisting with distributing meals for those who are less fortunate, and parents just can't afford for them to have lunch because they got honestly used to them eating lunch in school and having free lunch, free breakfast, and all that stuff. And now you have to have a whole nother $200-300 grocery bill because these little munchkins can surely eat.
Yeah.
But having what are your opinions about having the importance of having available resources, but also the second part of that question is how should the schools play a role in ensuring that it's healthy nutrition? Because if I remember or recall correctly, I remember getting a square pizza and the corn, and I'm like, this by far ain't healthy. It's
Yeah.
nowhere near it.
Yeah.
It's almost like they give those that are incarcerated better food than our kids, but
About that.
yeah, because they're making sure that they have the whole food pyramid on their
Right.
plate.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts about just having the importance of having available resources in regards to food? The schools playing an important role in ensuring that our kids are being served healthy and nutritious foods. And that's
Yeah,
for both of y'all. Yeah.
I feel like that is the pinnacle. I feel like that shouldn't even come into question because that should be the main priority. Like the foods that they put into their bodies is just as important as what they're learning in the classrooms, in my opinion. If not, maybe more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. Are your kids in Maryland schools?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I do know that schools in DC have outside contractors that provide school lunches for them. I don't know if Maryland has that at all.
No,
But
they don't have the programs that DC has. That's why certain parts of DC is better than Maryland. But
right, yeah, I feel like it's very important to have people that actually care as far as the program itself and what they stand for. I feel like that. You have to think about that from the ground up, and then also the importance of the healthy foods that these kids are eating. Partnering with food banks and churches could be a big asset. Nonprofit organizations that work with, providing healthy foods to children. But I feel like it starts from the from the school. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
or from the Board of Education. Making it a point that the foods that these kids are putting into their bodies is just as important as information that they're learning from their teachers in the classrooms.
Right.
So that's my thought on it. I mean, that's just something that parents are going to have to take control over and making that a point. Making that a point as far as bringing that up at PTA meetings or whatever have you, so they'll realize how important that is. I don't know if that'll work, but I mean,
I love your enthusiasm. It's amazing.
I care about this stuff.
Yeah.
And we all should, but I mean, it doesn't work out that way, unfortunately. The food that they serve those kids is disgusting.
I mean, well, like another thing that I do is I like to go to different schools and perform cooking demonstrations for kids, and I always make sure that I prepare something healthy. Right. I can't tell you how many schools I've been to in DC, mainly Ward 7 and 8, and I perform cooking demonstrations for the kids using fresh vegetables, fresh ingredients, and how many kids would come up and say, "Hey, Chef Jojo, the food that you made is better than the school that we eat at lunch. Can we have some more? Can we have some more stir fry or sauteed kale?" Like it's crazy, and if people really paid attention to that, I'm sure they would do something about it.
Yeah.
But
do y'all think that they should start back teaching? I don't know if they still do.
Home ec?
I think they do. Yeah, home economics or some type of nutrition class. I know
They
I took
gotta
home ec.
do
I
it.
took home ec and I took what was the other wood shop? They didn't call it wood
Yeah,
shop, they called
wood
it
shop.
something else.
Tech, right?
Tech,
Tech.
yeah.
Yeah,
I took both of those, which were electives.
right.
But like
They
my
gotta do it, right?
my nephew said he don't have to take the, well, no, he took them in middle school. Because
Right.
he was doing baking. They were
Hmm.
teaching them
Mm-hmm.
baking skills. And so we were like, well, do they teach you, about just the things that you're using to bake? He's like, nope, they just teach us how to bake. They just teach us about what you need to bake stuff, and they have us bake different things and things. And I'm like, but you're not necessarily learning what, why, and then the how it comes together, if that makes sense. I
Hmm.
feel like in home ec, we learned, the food pyramid, and the importance of healthy foods and nutrition and things like that, whereas they are, I don't know if they're doing that anymore.
The schools that I visited, when I was working at the nonprofit Martha's Table in DC, um, we had a program. We would go to elementary schools in Ward 7 and 8
Hmm.
and set up pop up farmers markets. And the
Okay.
kids, and once the kids would be dismissed from school, they could come and shop and take home fresh fruits and vegetables and pantry staples at no cost. And I would perform a demonstration showing the parents and the children a healthy recipe using the items that they're taking home with them. Now, from that experience, a lot of the children there weren't taking home it. This is elementary,
I was gonna say
so
they only do it in like middle school and high school. They don't
right,
do it in
yeah,
elementary.
that's true too. So honestly, I might have been like their first experience when it came to um, nutrition, like
Right.
kind of seeing it from start to finish, outside of whatever they may have at home. So
Right.
So Chef Jojo, I'm saying it because for the last actually for some years I worked aftercare in DC public schools,
mhm.
and I would see them come, and it was called food prints, I think it was.
Footprints, yeah, yeah,
Oh, footprint. Okay,
footprints,
so
yeah,
it was really cool because that's something that PG County would be great if they could incorporate that because I actually saw the kids love the food. I mean,
hmm
it was stuff that you would never think of giving the kids, and they were eating it up like it was the best thing they had ever eaten before. And I did like the fact that they were, the food market would give away uh, the whatever vegetable it was, whatever starch it was. So that was a very cool idea.
right,
If we could figure out how to incorporate that into PG County, it would be amazing because it also meant that when food print started, I think they also changed the food that was being brought in the school for the kids'
right,
lunch.
to make that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
So even their lunch was healthier. Now, mind you, the lunch wasn't great, but it wasn't what you all were serving after school when y'all
mhm,
had the things when y'all came in.
right,
But it was still a healthier option. And I mean, if they didn't eat it, they just starved. But for the most
right,
part, they ate it.
right.
Oh yeah, that would be figure out how to work that in the system.
Yeah, and like I said, like as far as what they're preparing, like they need to hire people that actually care about the food that they're making.
Yeah.
Like it can't just be a job. Like you have to enjoy what you're doing and have the passion for what you're doing. Honestly, I think it would be a cool idea if there was some type of programming for um, kids in culinary school whenever they finish school. Um, Maybe working under a program where they could learn and prepare foods, for young children because those kids are hungry. They're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and some are adults. They're looking for an opportunity, and if they could have an opportunity where they're making a difference in people's lives, I feel like you're gonna put that much more into what you're doing and take
right.
more pride and passion. But that's just a random thought. But yeah, I feel like it's really important to have people that care about the work that they're doing, whoever's feeding these kids. You know.
I was trying to find the name of it, but I can't get to it that fast right now. But at one of the businesses that I worked for, the company started or connected with a nonprofit organization, and what they did was they created a culinary program within the high schools in the area, and they chose different areas. I don't know why. I guess it was a background or reason why they chose specific areas, but I was working in Arlington, Virginia, and they chose the kids that were the high school students that were coming to this program were PG County residents, were PG County high school students, and the program it was culinary. It was through the Culinary Institute of America, but I can't remember what exactly the name of it, and I'll find it and post it. But I was able to take part in and be the HR expert for them per se, and so it was a amazing curriculum that they put together. They had executive chefs from various businesses to teach them just culinary arts, the basics of it, how to cut, how to knife skills and things like that. And these students actually came with their own knives and had their culinary their chef coats on and things like that. They were ready, and it was just amazing to see how just one person taking the initiative and their passions and them wanting to learn something, even if they didn't even have an idea that that's what they wanted to do. For example, like you, Chef Jojo, you went to school for graphic design, and then your passion just came about with cooking. And so I think with those students, that's what it was. It was someone telling them like, hey, you should join this club, but then not knowing that, hey, I'm going to be able to connect to other people and be able to shadow. And so ultimately what we did was they had I think it was throughout the school year, but for us I think it was 12-week. It was a 12-week program. And so we met with them as a whole, and it was the entire DMV group, if I say that's what their region was called. And we talked about, the history and the nutritional facts and things like that, kind of taught them those things. But then from an HR standpoint, it was, this is how you can get into the career of a culinary career. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to focus on and things like that. So for me, that was that training piece and that teaching point. But then we turned over and had a hands-on activity with the students, in which an executive chef, we actually had culinarians with various position titles. So a chef de cuisine, the executive chef, sous chefs, gourmet chefs. So we had various levels, and they were able to see what those levels meant and also what their positions actually did. Because an executive chef at that level, you're really not cooking anymore. You're just creating recipes. And
you're the boss.
You're just kind of like telling people what to do.
Yeah.
And I remember executive chefs like, I don't cook anymore. I'm like, no, a chef is a chef. You cook. That's what you do. I don't care what you do. You cook. He's like, no, I make the recipes. I'm like, all right, well, make the recipe and cook it. How about that? And so they actually made a watermelon sauce. I never forget this one particular case because it was kids from Oxon Hill High School. And I never forget because I was like, oh, shit, here we go. A watermelon salsa and some kind of salad. It had goat cheese or something in it. And the looks on those kids' faces like, I'm not eating that. I'm not. And so the dynamics was a little different. It was, kids it was urban children.
Right.
Versus culinarians from Virginia, per se. So it was very different. And the choice of what they were teaching them was different. And so I had to pull one of the chefs to the side and just explain, like, they're not being disobedient or anything like that. What it is that, you have to show them a different way. They're used to the fried chicken, and I don't mean to say it that way, but they're used to something totally different.
I've experienced that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so I came in as the African American woman, And I'll never forget, I actually was pregnant with Mo at the time. I'm like, look, we're going to try this food because I'm hungry. So y'all need to get at y'all stations and somebody need to cook me food. Matter of fact, we're going to see who can make the best. And whoever makes the best, and I think we had already planned on giving like Amazon gift cards or something like that to them. Whoever does the best, they get this. And they're like, oh, bet. Okay. And it just turned it into something
Competition.
totally different. And
the competition.
I'm like, you have to train them to kind of think differently because
Yeah.
you pull them into something that they are like,
Nah,
what am I
not
getting
used to.
into?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we had them, this particular group was at Union Station, and Union Station has places within Union Station where you can have events and stuff like that. I learned that. And so we were already taking them out of their element and putting them somewhere else, because they're like, Union Station is a train station, but you come back in this room and it's elegant and it has marble staircase and all of this beautiful scenery, and they're like, oh wow. So it's like, take them into a different mindset, but make it positive and make it fun for them, because this is not what they're used to. And I would say we ended up doing it after each week ended, after each session ended, we kept doing it. And I think they're actually still doing it to this day. And it was just fun to actually see that they were interested. They actually got interested in something that they weren't used to. And for me, I was scared too. I'm like, I don't know if I want no water. Y'all got a whole watermelon. You about to make what with that? And you want them to cut this watermelon up? They're like, come on, Rayshawn, you can join in. No, I'm good. I'm just get my piece, and I'm gonna stand around, make sure nobody cut this.
Right.
But it's important, I think, that the schools, like we were saying, the schools get involved, and big ups to those schools that allow, because it's not every school in the county that does it, but it's specific schools. I don't know how they chose them or why they chose these specific schools, but it's amazing that they were able to allow that program. And the kids are then, once they get into, if they're in their senior year, I think they're juniors and seniors. So for the seniors, they're then given a shadow week where they, after school, they do their half a day schedule. They come to whichever business to pick them up, and they shadow the culinary department for a whole week. And depending, I forgot what the criteria was, but a lot of them got hired. And they started as that cook 2 or that prep cook or what have you. And I'm pretty sure, I definitely know one young lady, because I talked to her so much just about her attitude. I'm like, you got poker face it, but you like it, you love it, you got to poker face it, because your demeanor is what's pushing everybody kind of away from you, but you're amazing at what you're doing. And she's still there. She actually sent me messages and stuff on Facebook a lot. She's still there, and she's like, I don't even know if I really need to go to college. I'm like, well, at least go to community college. Nothing else. You need a backup plan just in case. But I would say it's definitely to the schools being involved. I think that's amazing, and something that they definitely should do.
I agree.
And I'm gonna find it. I don't know why I can't think of what it's called. What it's called. I don't know why.
I'm actually gonna see what I could do as far as connecting with some schools. And I know I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and seeing what I could do as far as connecting with them, and maybe even doing a few virtual sessions with their students.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I enjoy that a lot. So I'll definitely be busy. I mean, look.
Gina points to herself.
I can make a field trip.
Set it up. Let's do it.
We can definitely do an online field trip.
It's nothing. Set it up.
I would also say connect with the aftercare centers or the daycare centers, because they do have a lot of older kids in their daycare centers, specifically like one that my daughter went to. They're amazing. But they have the older kids for aftercare, and they're always looking for something for the kids to do all the time. And they always put out suggestion boxes and stuff like that. Okay, what can we do with these kids when they get here, aside from them playing on their video game or, just running around in the room? What else can we do? And now with them having to kind of be 6 feet, is it 6 feet? However many, be away from each other. They need something like that anyway. So that would be good too.
Absolutely.
to connect with them. Yeah.
I agree. I
So,
agree.
so I had one last question. What's your favorite part about being a chef? And what would you tell kids that are aspiring to become a chef or in the culinary field?
My favorite part about being a chef is that I'm able to, I could just change your whole mood. You know,
Mhm.
you could be having a bad day, but when it comes to good food, like you know how they how we say, you know what I'm saying, like we enjoy soul food.
Mhm.
When
Yeah.
you cook food from the soul, people
Mhm.
people could feel that, people could
Yeah.
taste that. You know what I'm saying, and that's one of the aspects. And then also, I'm able to kind of use cooking as a tool to
Mhm.
affect and change people's lives. So
Yeah.
I've always been the type of person where I wanted to be a blessing to other people, and
Mhm.
then God just kind of blessed me with the gift of, preparing food. You know, it's essential. Everybody needs it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
You could have a table of people, right? And they could come from different cultures, different religious backgrounds. They could have, especially now that we're living in a really big political world,
Mhm.
different political views. But when it comes to good food, that's one thing that people could have a conversation on and agree on. So I
Right.
feel like that part of being a chef is pretty damn cool. Um, as far as advice that I could give to aspiring chefs, I would say be humble. Um, no matter how talented you are, no matter how good you think you are, always know that there's somebody better than you. So never be complacent, never get too comfortable in where you are, and always strive to be the best version of yourself. And I actually had a rude awakening with that personally. So pre-COVID, I was doing my normal hustle and bustle, but I was becoming too comfortable and too complacent. It wasn't my plan. I was just kind of going through with the regular routine. But
Mhm.
Mhm.
once this hit, it allowed me to be in a uncomfortable situation where I really had to kind of think and be creative on how I could kind of tweak my purpose, kind of tweak
Mhm.
what I do. So instead of going to see kids face to face or clients face to face, I'm doing everything virtually. So also this time has also allowed me to work on a lot of projects that I've always aspired to work on. I just never had the time to do.
Mhm.
Um, my cookbook that I'm working on. Um,
Oh.
yeah, you heard it first.
Awesome.
um, my my website. Uh, some other projects that I plan to work on. So even though this pandemic has been very unfortunate, it's been very
Mhm.
stressful.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to make the most out of it and looking at the positives on how that can make me better and how I can make other people better.
Right.
For my birthday, for every year, my birthday is in February.
Mhm.
Every year now, 'cause I did the first one this year because my birthday passed in February. I'll be doing a give back to feed the homeless.
Yep.
Oh,
I
cool.
remember
So
saying that too. Yep.
so I'm gonna be so every year for my birthday, I'm gonna be doing that. So I've been able to use my gift and my talents to use it for a purpose that's much bigger than myself.
Mhm.
So I would say that's definitely the best part about being a chef and being Chef Jojo. So
That is cool.
Cool.
I'm definitely looking forward to the cookbook. Can you make sure you have some scallop and risotto recipes in there?
I got
Oh,
you.
yes.
If I had to choose one meal, like seriously, give me some scallops, risotto, and some asparagus. I'm good forever.
Oh,
I'm good forever.
amazing. Yes.
You can add some shrimp in there because I'm a shrimp person.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
I
easy.
am an amazing. Everywhere I go, I'm like, they don't have no risotto. They looking at me like, no,
That's your
ma'am.
thing.
But
Oh,
can
I
you
love
make it
it.
without onions? I don't like onions.
No,
And
you
they
can
put
just
onions in all
nuh-uh,
risotto. Yes, they
nuh-uh.
do.
Mushrooms.
I could do mushrooms, but not no onions.
I haven't had it
And
with onions in it.
then,
Oh, I
then
just
you
couldn't
know,
taste it then.
yes, you can't. But I'm the type of person I can see them and then I'm done. I don't want it.
Of course. I'm also learning some vegan cooking. I just cooked for a group of ladies this past Saturday. I believe it was for a birthday slash engagement party. She just got engaged. And one of the young ladies who I cooked for was vegan. And
Oh,
I've never made anything vegan before in my life. And the menu, they wanted rasta pasta, scampi, shrimp, and chicken. And they were like, as far with the young lady who was vegan, they were like, just make whatever, as long as it doesn't
not
have,
make whatever.
as long as it doesn't have any animal products in it, obviously. So I made a vegan Alfredo, and it came out. She said to her it exceeded her expectations, and that was my first time.
Wow.
So I was like, okay,
Good
bet. So
job.
I was like, all right, cool. So I got something I could work with. So
Mhm.
that was pretty cool. So
And
I'm
that's
just
testing your skills too.
right. So like I said, like never be complacent. Never feel like, you know, you're like I said. However, like no matter how good you are, there's somebody always better. So
Yep.
whatever you could do to add to your repertoire, to increase your knowledge. That's why I went back to learning the child and nutrition class. That's why I did that. Like always strive for greatness and making yourself better.
I mean, if whenever you want to, have somebody taste test, just remember, give me a call. I don't like onions. I can pick the tomatoes out.
I can make you like onions. I'm not worried about that.
Oh no, trust and believe. You gotta hide them to a point where and it's very impossible. It's impossible for people to really hide them and me not know they're in there.
Okay, I can do that.
Challenge accepted.
Let's go.
We definitely I think we talked about it the last girls' night, but the person that was leading it wasn't ready yet. But having our girls' night and having the chef to actually come out, we talk about that all the time. Usually it's G and I that are planning, hosting,
That's all I do.
all
You
of
gotta
that. That's we usually are the ones planning it, but we wanted somebody else to do it because we just wanted somebody else to do it for this time. But we definitely will make sure when we do our next girls' night that we have.
No, you know what would be a good idea? Instead of having him cook, he can come and he can show us how to make something.
Yeah, I do cooking classes all the time with the ladies.
See, we got a new girl, but I'm throwing them out the ideas out there like,
hey,
You remember this name.
I've done date night cooking classes. So if y'all want to do something with our
that's
spouse,
cute.
okay.
That's
girls'
cute.
night.
Let's see if I like them enough that day.
If you gonna cook, you better.
Right.
Ooh, yeah, if I'm cooking,
Right.
Better be something. You got me in the kitchen. So, I was gonna add, and I'm just kind of reading off my notes, but we was talking about nutritional health and wellness. I'm gonna add that it's a huge factor in the growth and success of our children. Nutritional wellness emphasizes an understanding of today's food and eating trends, and ensuring that your child have a healthy diet, regular exercise. Can't reiterate regular exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Rest and positive thinking are principles of healthy nutrition, and definitely give y'all last suggestions to the listeners, the parents out there, about just making sure that you are balancing out what you're giving your children during virtual learning, and ensuring that they're not drinking a soda and eating chips for breakfast and lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Then you give them a healthy dinner. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
But just mentally giving the kid, I think with health and wellness, the mental part is also important as well. Making sure that when they have those breaks, the teachers are giving them those breaks, that they actually take a break. I know in my household, it's very easy for my husband to be like, nope, you need to review your work. It's like, no, let her mind chill for a second. So that's part of, being healthy and the wellness portion for kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that I want to
Nope, you hit it on the nail.
say?
Yeah.
All right. So we want to say thank you, Chef Jojo.
Thank you,
for
Chef
taking
Jojo.
the time
No
out.
problem.
for joining us on the podcast.
You know what? We gotta do a sequel episode where
I know where you
where
cook.
where we cook and we do like a cool little recipe on the
Oh,
podcast.
See,
that
there
would
he
be
go throwing
amazing.
ideas out. Look at Chef Jojo.
I'll
He's
tell
just
you.
throwing them out there.
Amazing.
Yes.
Rave reviews. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh yeah, we gotta put that together like
Yeah.
this month.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Wait a minute.
And then listen. We got
Whoa.
Halloween coming up. You know, kids love candy around Halloween. We got Thanksgiving coming up. We got Christmas coming up. Valentine's Day is gonna be the real banger, like a sexy meals for you and your spouse. Let's get it. Come on now.
Oh yes.
Come on now.
That is fun.
That-
That is
so-
fun.
You can stop recording this part if you want. But no, but for real. Chef,
Yeah.
So my son's birthday, we ain't talking about Valentine's Day, but let's get there at another time.
Okay, wait a minute.
Right
Hold,
now.
pause real quick. Let me wrap it up. I can edit this
Oh.
part out, but then I'll pause it after this. So
Okay.
thank you again, Jojo, for joining the podcast with us. Of course, like Jojo said, he's going to be back and we're going to do some fun things. I think that'll be amazing.
Yes.
Of course, Jojo, drop your social media handles so everyone can make sure that they follow you. He does post some amazing things, and I've learned a lot just seeing what he's posting.
Got my phone ready now.
All right, y'all could check me out on Instagram at LLCoolChef, on Twitter at I am Chef Jojo, and you can find me on Facebook at Chef Jojo.
Awesome. So make sure that you also follow and like the podcast. Make sure you follow and like Chef Jojo's pages as well. The podcast is at Raialities, and that's RAIALITIES. The podcast is on all podcast platforms. Whoop, whoop. Not just one or two, but all of them. And so make sure that you download and listen for us for next week. We have something amazing as well for health and wellness next week as well. So thank you all.